right, so I wanted to talk about it. It's been a while since I've just had a genuine sit down about a conversation or something that caught something that caught my interest, right? And I talk about it, talk how stupid it is, or talk how it's giving me an idea, right? Because I spoke about a God of War, an idea that I had for another God of War story game, and I've talking about Call of Duty and what would I do with the Call of Duty and the Modern Warfare series, especially for the zombies. And while that series has come out, it isn't. No, not zombies. Extinction. I'm sorry, Extinction. Where I spoke about how I would handle Extinction, a reboot of Extinction in the new Modern Warfare series. There is a new. Well, I'm not gonna say new, because this Ripperverse has been here for at least a year by now. And ISOM 1 is released, ISOM 2 is released, Alphacore's campaign is still going on currently, and then Yaira will be coming out. And focusing on Alphacore said something that piqued my interest, at least a specific character did when they spoke to another character. And what they said is that the power is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. And first of all, based off of the creator of the Ripperverse, that right there would make the utmost sense, since the creators talked about his past and how he's worked out and other things like that. Even though this is more of a Chuck Dixon type story, where it's mostly a cop story, and you can tell that it's really a cop story because they don't really do the whole superhero heroic type deal. It is more police uh, deal than anything else. Of course, there are superhero antics, superheroes doing superhero things, but it is mostly just cops and intelligent characters moving along trying to evade arrest. And I would say a game of chess, honestly, a very, very clever game of chess. But getting back on the main focus of what I was saying, when she said it was like a muscle, and I'm like, okay, that's an important thing to focus on. And I hope the other communities see this and focus on this, has called it out to understand that, okay, Isom, he himself, Isom, has not blatantly come out to confirm that he is an except, right? But when he got picked up from Yaira, dropped on a car, the amount of strength he has, it is blatantly obvious that he's at least an accept. But I'm gonna say this: I believe he's an accept that has kind of stopped training, has stopped focusing his muscles, which has kind of weakened him in a way, or at least that's a little theory that I'm having. Or that he needs to focus more on his training to kind of really bring out the full potential of it. I don't believe Isom is really as strong as he could possibly be. I think he could be a lot stronger and a lot more durable. Because if you read Isom 2, when he is fighting the demons, and they even show it in the trailer for Alphacore, while Isom and Bloodroof were fighting demons, Alphacore was tired. He was, I believe, bleeding just a little bit while he was trying to go rescue his employee, which ended up having a mark on his back. And I believe that's going to. I have my own theory on that. I think he's either being tracked, or he's going to end up having demonic powers, or he'll just it's gonna play an essential role at some point. You don't leave a mark like that on a character and have it visibly glow on that character for no reason. There's something there. And I keep getting off track, but because there's just so much in just these three books alone has just it's caught me. Okay, it's caught me. I don't really know what to. It's hard to focus on it, right? There's just so much going on. I can't recommend this to you enough, because a pet peeve of mine that's been coming into the fray is how Marvel and DC have been making a bad habit of timelines or different dimensions or oh well, in this dimension Superman is like this, but in another dimension Superman is like that, and in all these other dimensions, well, Superman is basically the same character. It is something that I don't really enjoy using. I kind of wish they would focus more on how Invincible we kind of did it, where yes, we do have different universes, but the marks are very, very different. You can tell the very visibly different from each other by the way they act, the way they talk, the way they look. Just and even in backstory, because with Mohawk Mark, he ended up losing Eve and whatnot, but until our Mark kills him. But again, back to our main focus here. When I was in the live stream for Eric July, a character, well, somebody ended up speaking of one, and he said that yes, it is true. People are focusing and or creating their own characters, like how I have made my own stories. And when I saw that, well, your power is like a muscle. You train it, it gets stronger. I immediately thought of a character that in the daytime would just be in a wheelchair, crippled, just this great person who's going around helping the community. But when it gets around nighttime, he stands up, goes downstairs into his basement, flicks a couple switches, and he would have different type of weaponry. Not regular weaponry, like strong metal batons or something like that, but they're modified to be kind of in a way hollow, along with the other say guns like sniper rifles, your pistols, and an assault rifle mainly on the wall. But there's no bullets with them because with this character that I had thought of, telekinesis will play an extremely crucial part of it. I thought of this character as much like Brian. This character would be military trained mentality, and with him being an except, of course, the military would see him as an asset because you have the ability to use powers that a lot of people wouldn't. So, of course, they would train you to use that ability to the utmost important as a military would. So, of course, they would teach them melee combat. Okay, what can your powers do? Can your powers be focused enough to actually take form into something? Such as, I would say, the best example to give you the picture in mind. Think Gwendolyn Tennyson from Ben 10, right? When she would use her powers and it would actually take a form of something. Instead of this, it would be when he focuses enough and he puts the telekinesis into this tube, it's more of a he can use it to form a claw, so he can use it to climb up. He can use it as a focuses his telekinesis to turn it into more of a whip like thing. Something as more of a tool, just this hollow little tube can be used more as a conduit or a something to just help him focus it into more of a useful product of whatever he needs done. But the guns is what's the main focus here, because him being military trained, of course, is going to have to kill, and he wouldn't use bullets. Nope. I want this character to be able to focus his telekinesis through the gun, and when he pulls the trigger, it wouldn't make a noise, but it would fire and somewhat kind of form a telekinetic bullet through the gun, and it will be able to hit the target and actually hit the target, but there would be nothing there. It just nothing there, like nothing hit him. Nobody saw a bullet. Nothing vanishes. It's just nothing there. Much like how when you see TVs, how telepaths just grab somebody with their mind and choke them, but you don't see them moving their hands. I want that to be something I want that to be something unique to this character, where the character has the gun, but he needs the gun. He just can't outright pulls his hand out and shoot somebody with it. He needs the gun in order to do this. Mostly because if he doesn't, then it's mostly going to be a kind of a push thing. The only thing he can really do is focus his telekinesis to really push. He can't do it without the assistance or the tools, without the help of the tools and whatnot. These are just some of the ideas that I got off of the simple remark of it is a muscle and you train it. That alone gave me these ideas. Now going back into Alphacore self and off of my idea, this cover, first of all, I like it. I do like I like them all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did like them all. But there are some that I like more than others. I will say that. But I did like them all. Second of all, the character on the cover in her whips herself, they did not show the creation of them in this book. And I like that. When she does have them, I appreciate her having them when she does. And I greatly appreciate her ability to accomplish the mission without them. I will say that, right? I ain't gonna try to go on the spoilers because one, it's done. It's. I just got it last week. I think there should be a lot more people to be able to look at the book, to really read the book, to understand it, to get their hands on it, to just see everything. And I'm gonna say this. Here's something I don't think will be a spoiler. The one with the green whips is not an X-up. She's not. She's made that clear. Or she's made it clear she can't fly. Right? She's driving. She can't fly. I have not seen her perform any other abilities that X-ups would presume to have. So when we see her with these whips, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not sure if it is her own ability or not. This is the first issue. There are questions that can be answered. There's some that haven't been answered. And there's a character that, again, when she speaks to, that just brings a lot of things to light. And I very much appreciate him. Now, I will say this. Her character development through this, I like it. She ends up learning a lesson. I do wish I saw more. Because, and I am going to spoil this a little bit. Well, I ain't going to say spoil. I would like to see, was that character that she was with created, well, was his acceptability the reason why she ended up getting these whips, right? Did it for, I'm sorry if you're seeing water, I just got out the shower. Was there a conversation beforehand or afterhand, or just something that just ended up clicking in her mind that said these are going to be the weapons that she's going to use. I wouldn't say they're long enough for her to be swinging off of like Spider-Man, but they are destructive. Now, going off of this, and I will say something else, okay? Watching Air July stream, he ended up showing us Gyra's cover, or at least one of them. And we end up seeing her fight Isom in Ice on 1. She picks this man up like he's nothing. So I'm gonna make a prediction. She has super strength. She obviously has flight because she flies in. But she also has ice powers. And honestly, and that's something interesting that I like. Right? I like that. It's very, very, it's interesting. Because I don't really think I've seen a character that has ice powers. There may be one, but I haven't seen one. And there are just a lot of superheroes out here. But I also wonder, does she have some form of flame ability, because when you end up seeing her, her hair is kind of bluish, flamish around it at the back. So I'm wondering, is she, does she have more elemental powers along with her super strength in her flight? At least I believe she has super strength. Obviously, she's durable, and these XFs has shown that they are very, very durable when it comes to like blatant punches or something like that. But when you when you do read this, I have to say, I I can't wait to see what happens next. And as for the villains in the story, I honestly enjoyed them, though I do. It's not a criticism of, well, this, or that. It's a criticism of more. You know what I mean? It is a criticism of more. And we all know that they're just gonna be like, well, you have to buy the next one to figure out. You kill me with that one, but I'll be good and I'll wait. I will wait for ISO number two. Hopefully, Chuck Dixon is done with that, and we can get some more answers. But Alpha Core, not getting into real spoilers for this one, but Alpha Core, I would say, are the perfect people to handle these villains. And I like the fact, a little bit of spoiler. I like the fact that the villain's an accept, but has done all these other things to show that accepts are not just these people who just rush in to do things. Much like Isom, he's kind of been a bonehead. He's just been rushing off doing things. Okay, I need to run over there to help with this. I need to run over there to do that. Because a lot of people end up needing his help, and he ends up put his attention on something else. Obviously, he's shown that he's smart because he has all the things that he has. In Blood Roof, we haven't seen enough from her. Brian is. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of think he's stupid because he just grabbed. I almost made a big spoiler. He kind of just rushed in twice. No, not even twice. Three times. Three times, and he ended up paying. I ain't go. He paid the twice for it. He paid the price for it twice. The first time, it was no even then because he got man. So every time he rushed in, he paid the price for it. Now that I'm remembering it. It's been 18 minutes. If you still here, spoilers. Brian, when you first see him, he rushes in, he grabs a dude with a bomb, and he saves the day. He does. He does a heroic thing, but he gets chewed out for it by his boss because they're trying to say that the police need to be able to do some of these things because it's the cops. They need to do something. Alright, this was a regular person for a regular bomb, which him actually saving the day is what leads to these bigger and bigger events. I don't already went past the spoilers now, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. There are two villains in this story. I I kind of wanna. I compare some of them to different heroes and different genres to try to help people get the, especially people who haven't read the comic book, to try to help them understand it. So I would say this: think Lex Luthor with Doctor. I wouldn't even say Doctor Doom mentality. Just yeah, Lex Luthor. You just I'd have to say Lex Luthor, except a little bit more calm, right? And when it comes to these two villains, they're out here taking care of things, getting money, covering things up, honestly screwing the heroes pretty badly, right? They knew that they'd be stupid enough to plug in the flash drive into their base. They knew that okay, the heroes at some point are gonna go towards the bank, so they send another X up there to leave that flash drive. They knew that that one guy might snitch, so he tells Aesop, "Here's money. Go to this jail and kill that guy." Every the heroes are basically just a step behind them. But right when they get on the plane, right when the villains get on the plane, that's when her whips come out and she destroys one plane. And Brian tells her straight up, "Look, you destroyed their plane, but in 5 minutes they'll have a brand new one. They'll just be like 5 minutes late for their vacation." Still the satisfaction. And we're already getting the spoilers, so I'm gonna say this. When she does get her whips, right, at the end, I was hoping that there was gonna be at least again, that's the problem with me. It's more, I guess it's because I've been used to having things explained to me. I don't really, that's a pet peeve, I would say, for myself. I would like to see how they were made, and or if technology in this world is just that advanced to where she's holding something and or can control it. Because when I'm looking at it, yeah, she's got the gloves and it looks like it's connected to her suit. But when I saw her walking away in the comic book, I believe she was still holding it in her hands. Is it like a switch, a power on, power off type thing, where due to her wearing the suit, one, the suit protects her and gives her these whips abilities so she can actually have a better chance of staying up in the fight, because throughout the comic book, you don't see her really with the whips and or this armor, to be honest with you, that's on the cover. But then again, the lady in the cover isn't really ain't really like that either. When you see her at the end, all you see is their eyes glowing, letting them know that yes, we are Epsips. Yes, we did do this to you, but you can't do nothing about it. And that to me is just, just the little icing on the cake to show that Alphacore's main deal is to deal with Epsips. You are now dealing with Epsips, not just regular Epsips, rich, wealthy Epsips that are smart, that are dangerously smart, because they knew you'd put that flash drive in your headquarters, and they knew that it'd make it crash. They controlled your headquarters to make it crash. And if it wasn't for the heroic sacrifice of a character who I don't want to get that too much into, because I want you guys to see it, I want you guys to enjoy him, because this one character has brought forth so much. He brought forth that information, which has brought forth the idea, and he ends up being the best hero. He ends up teaching our character an important lesson. He just, and the fact, I'm not gonna spoil that part. I ain't gonna spoil that part. I'm gonna leave it at this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited for Alphacore 2. I cannot wait for Yaira. Hopefully, we see more independent comic creators come out. I do. I'm not sure about Indiegogo, but hopefully. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this is everything that I've pretty much got to say for the Rippaverse. Everything that I've been wanting to say. Everything that I've been thinking about. I've been telling people, hey, this is a good comic book. I recommend you go buy this. All right, you go buy this. You go buy this. You buy it. They ship it to you. You good to go. You got no excuse. All right, it's $28 for this one. But if you want the really good looking one, then you're gonna spend about 50 buckaroos. But to me, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's pretty worth it. Dang, it's getting late. Peace.